Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Can you hear me well? Am I loud? Yeah. So, first of all, my name is Lukan Ismail Abayomi, and I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to inspire people that I once lived amongst, and that is it makes me very happy. So, um, before I start, I would like to say they have been saying after school, NYSC, wherever you find yourself, make the most of it. Outside school is war. Do you understand? I'm telling you, outside school is war. There's no course code, no A, no B. It's your alert and your debit. Do you understand? So you have to actually create the environment you want to succeed in, either by a mixture of grace of God and your hard work. Do you understand? So that's what I want to say initially to start the whole conversation. So you don't just believe that if I do my best, it's going to work out. Oh no, number 6. So first of all, so let me start with why I'm here. I am going to be talking about product design and modeling. It's not a career, but it's a skill set. Do you understand? So these are valuable skills that you will need as an individual, not just as a biomedical engineer, to survive this new world that is coming. Because the only way Nigeria is going to survive the future is to be a developing country, not only a consumer country. Do you understand? And I have also been of the opinion that everybody cannot leave Nigeria. Do you understand? Everybody cannot leave Nigeria. Everybody wants to jackpot. So who's going to actually now provide the jobs that your parents, my parents had when they were young? Do you understand what I'm saying? So somebody have to also be the forefront of those that will create jobs, create opportunities with innovative ideas that they come up with. So what's product design and modeling? So product design is basically the creation of a physical solution to a problem of a client. Is not that there's no grammar to it. Do you understand? So now, product design and modeling is a skill set that allows you to create a 3D representation of that solution in a world where you can prototype it, you can experiment, you can see how they work together before you now actually make a physical product to test with. Do you understand? So now, why I'm here is not only to come and tell you about product design alone, but it's to tell you from the perspective of someone that might want to learn something new. It might be outside product design and modeling, but there are certain challenges you face that if you are not aware about, you would actually like either give up or struggle to actually get to that peak of knowing it. So there are challenges. There are ways you can go about actually scaling up what you've learned as a skill set, because it's not only good to just know something. Then the career pathways and choices that you can use this skill set to also work in to make money, because it's not only good to just have a skill set. You have to eat now, Abby. Do you have to eat? Say yes or no. So you have to eat. So it's not only the idea of just creating innovation, this one, that one. It has to be valuable enough to put food on your table and put ideas in the minds of the young ones to come. Do you understand? So I would like to ask the question: is anybody familiar with the buzzword 3D printing, 3D manufacturing? If you have an idea, please just say something. So I know that I'm speaking to people that know what the future is about. So who has an idea of who wants to speak about something? Who wants to talk about like their idea of 3D printing? Don't be shy. I was amongst you 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So I'm not like Odogu or something. Odogu, please. Do you understand? But you can just speak to me about it if you have an idea of it. Yeah, please come on. Hey, come on, talk. So, what do you understand of 3D printing and the possibilities of 3D printing?
I believe, as you said, production.
Yeah.
I believe 3D printing is one of the basics of any production device. So the concept is we design the prototype, you save it to format, maybe STL or web versions, you get to the software, you slice it, and produce it.
Nice sharp guy.
So,
yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Please clap for him, please. So now, just to solidify, yeah, thank you very much. on what he has said. 3D printing is not only the manufacturing procedure that we have alive. Do you understand? It's just the very consumer friendly like type of manufacturing that we have, that you can have it in your house and still produce. It allows you to be innovative as an individual, not just as a company. So there are other processes like injection molding, CNC machining. Do you understand? But all those things require expensive costing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now let's focus on 3D printing. So where I work right now, we work on 3D printing, like with 3D printing. But I'm even digressing. Let me stick to my slide. So now, product design and modeling. What are the challenges you as an individual can face when learning this skill set or any skill set in general? First of all, it's steep learning curve. It's not easy. It's not easy. Anything worth doing is not easy. Do you understand? Like, and that's the best way to actually go about learning things. You don't go where crowd is, because it will be hard to compete. Do you understand? So here is a steep learning curve, because 3D printing and modeling and design requires you to learn new concepts, new softwares, new approach to designing things. Do you understand? So you have to be able to understand that this thing I'm entering is difficult and it might become almost unbearable at some point, but it's just normal. You don't have to give up. Do you understand? It's just that phase of you knowing something new. You are a novice in the individual, like in the onset. Do you understand? You are a novice. You want to learn something new. So it's a steep learning curve. You have to actually take your time, give your time grace, yourself grace to learn something new. So that's the first point of like challenge that they are going to face. Secondly, this is what I faced the most. Like, it was hard to track improvement. I couldn't track if I was improving or not. And that's one thing that will actually make you doubt if you are good or not, or if it's worth the time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because when you are learning something new, you want to be able to compare and contrast before and after to be sure, oh, it's worth my time. Do you understand? But it's like going to the gym. The first month, park scare. You won't see anything. You won't see any reduction in weight or whatever. But there are ways you can track your improvement by paying attention to the little things. Do you understand? So when I started learning 3D product design and modeling, I started with Blender, because it was like two weeks to my convocation. I'm my eye clear. You understand? I didn't know if the market was ready for biomedical engineering. I had a good result. I had everything. I was like, if I'm ready for them and they're not ready for me, what will I eat? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I had to come up with something on the spot. On my bed inside that bunk room in Silver 3. I was like, oh, do you understand? So I started learning Blender. So he had a steep learning curve, but it was hard to also track improvement, because there was nobody to compare myself with and say, how far, let me see your work. It's a personal conviction to want to be a better person. So the only way I could now track my improvement is to give grace to my little improvements, meaning the speed at which I did certain things in the software. Your improvements don't have to be grand. They don't have to be groundbreaking or saying I've invented XYZ, like on LinkedIn now. I'm happy to announce I've bought the Mars to Earth. It's not like that. You can always give yourself grace of the small things you win at. So that way you can also say, okay, even though it's not showing yet, I can track my improvement. If you want to do something, you can make something faster than before. It's an improvement. Do you understand what I'm saying? So tracking improvement, give yourself grace for the little wins that you face in the whole learning process. Number 3, limited tools. Now, who's familiar with the term my potato laptop? Potato laptop. Potato laptop. Are you familiar with it? These are terms that are used for systems that are not strong enough to do what we want to do, but we push through regardless. Do you understand? So when I was trying to learn Blender, my laptop was a potato. I'll say it that way. Although, like, it wasn't that strong to do what I wanted to do. Although it was good for the final year press and everything, but I was learning Blender. I needed like enough power for rendering, for all those things. But it didn't stop me from starting where I was. Because, and limited tools is a downgrade at some point, but it also allows you to focus on things that you can actually do at the time. Do you understand? Because the options you don't have allow you to focus more on the options that you have. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if, like, for example, now, at the time I didn't have a GPU, so I had to learn things in Blender I could only do with my laptop. Because if I forced it too much, it's going to spoil my laptop. So I didn't have time or the chance to learn things AYR or whatever. But limited tools can also be a downside that you will face when you're learning something new. But it shouldn't stop you, to be honest, because in the initial stage, you don't actually need so much power or so much things. Like just start something. Do you understand? In Blender, extruding is not that powerful. It's gonna extrude a model. You can do this, you can do that, you can render with it, but it takes time. But as a poor man that is still struggling with what's name, you have time, you don't have money. So take your time and do what you want to do. Do you understand? Then, secondly, financial constraints. When you now become good and the laptop is not good enough to do what you want to do, you have to buy new softwares, new laptop, new rigs, new PC. Do you understand? These things might come like a clause at some point saying, oh, I don't have enough money XYZ to buy the laptop I need to upgrade. This is when your friends come in. Friends that have these things that you need to do. So you meet out to friends that have the laptops that you want to work with. Do you understand? Then you do where you can actually work with on your laptop. Then if the remaining parts, you say, guy, Alpha, I want to render my project on your laptop. Can you help me for like 2 hours? Then that way you can strike a balance between stagnation and progress. Do you understand what I'm saying? And lastly, monetization challenges. After you become good and everything, it's hard to make money because it's saturated at some point, even though it's hard to learn. People glorify mediocrity right now. Do you understand? The clients are ready to pay for the fastest job. Do you understand? And if you don't stand out good enough, you might find it very hard to make money at some level. But if you just focus more on the mediocre side of things, you make with plenty of people that so you can't make money because a lot of people are at that level. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's really hard to make money if you don't do it the right way. Strategy, planning, and positioning. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now enough of the problems you can face. So like to just do an overview. If you're learning something new, there are challenges, and be ready for it. Do you understand? So if you know all these challenges, you can prepare for it. So that way you don't get overwhelmed over time and say, I'm giving up. So now, how did I break through in product design? Because we can't only talk about the challenges now, Abby. We have to see how we actually broke through. There's something called community. Community. It is very important. Because like the past speaker said, you can't be an island. Be it in NYSC camp, in life, at work, in school, you can't be an island. You need community because you can't be the power source and the fuel at the same time. Do you understand? You need people of like minds to bring you back up when you are tired. You need people of like minds to give you things you don't have access to because they have it already and you are a community. Like you got a community, so they can share assets with you, share softwares with you. It was a community that saved a project I was in at one point when I was using my laptop. I couldn't render. I was being called a scam because my laptop was slow. I said, Alpha, on this group, who can help me render XYZ amount of frames of images? After the project, we will talk. Then that community helped me scale through that whole issue. Because if I lost that project, I would have been very discouraged about the whole thing. Because I'll say, I'm good enough, but I can't really deliver because of what I have at the time. Then after the project, I had to get a new laptop because I said, okay, now I think it's time to upgrade the laptop. So second one is personal branding. People mistake this thing for going viral. Like, who else thinks our personal brand is about going viral on Instagram, being bougie, being this, being that? No, it's about being positioned where people want to find you, where you want to be found. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you don't have to always be on Instagram doing daily recap of your life. No. Positioning is like the most important thing. Choose a platform. Like for me, I don't like Instagram that much because it doesn't work for me. I'm not that kind of person that likes to post every time on Instagram, like my face, this one, that one. But I chose LinkedIn because I am more of a vocal person. I like to write about my ideas. And I can show you things I have done and how it can inspire you. So that app worked for me because it was my go-to, my natural connecting softwares. So if you are someone that likes to speak a lot in the camera, you can do Instagram. Do you understand? But personal branding is not only about going viral, it's about being positioned when people you want to see you come to your page, they can see, oh, he's our guy. It's not only about being viral or having a million views. That's my point. So, personal branding, learn what you've learned and tailor it to how you are being seen in the public space. So, are you following, please? If you're following, please say yes. Yes. Thank you very much. So, collaboration is also very important. There's community and there's collaboration. You can have a community and still be so proud to collaborate with people because of your ego or you think you are so good that you don't need people. No. If you collaborate with people, it can help you strengthen your weaknesses. Because now, for example, when I started this product design thing, because I had moved through different industries of product design, physical design, 3D fashion, 3D animation. So when I started all those things, you can have people that need your services in 3D animation, but you're not so good at it. In collaboration, you can suffice that weakness with collaboration with people and say, oh, they're good at 3D animation. I'm good at design. Let's collaborate. Be it paid, be it unpaid. It helps you in the long run because it helps you build a community of people you can work with and not have issues. Just what I'm saying. So collaboration is very, very important. Like if you are learning something new, collaborate. In initial stages, you might not have job to do as a 3D artist. You can collaborate on personal projects to improve yourself as a group. So do like a portfolio piece. If you're a graphic designer, I'm a 3D animator, I'm a concept guy, I'm an engineer. Come together with those skill sets, collaborate, build a portfolio projects together. It can help you land a new job. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the quality is higher because of the collaboration. And fourth is pushing your limit. I have one term I use every time. Chew, like bite more than you can chew. Like bite more than you can chew. See, outside school is war. I'm telling you, bite more than you can. Be greedy. Because when Sapa comes, he doesn't know my this and that. Bite more than you can chew because you would actually not know how good you are until you are placed in a position where you have to push past normal. That's what I'm saying. Because sometimes you have to just be saying, this one, that one. Like when you do things that are beyond what you think you can do, you go beyond the normal. You know what I'm saying? Like if you take on jobs that will stress you or you have to learn new things, after the job, you have become a better person. So bite more than you can chew. Don't be scared of, I won't deliver the project. Take the project and do it like if you don't deliver this project, everything's going to end. Go on YouTube. There is free information everywhere. Free information. If you don't know something you like today, you are lazy. Because on YouTube, it's free. There are courses where I don't like to be the illegal one here, but there are sites where you can, get all those paid. You know what I'm saying now? All those hair. So you can get all those courses free of charge. I don't talk. I'm already. So
That's ChatGPT, don't say.
no, it's not ChatGPT. But there are sites where you can get free courses that are paid for because of the collab. Like people in the community bought those courses and made a library of it so that you can have them for free. So you can also learn all these things. So bite more than you can chew. Like see that fruit, hit half at one point and try to swallow. If you hook your neck, open your neck and swallow it. It's true because if you don't do that, you won't know how strong you are. To be honest, I'm very factual. An example is when I was doing my NYSC. I was thrown to a school in one village. Do you understand? I was thrown to a school in one village. And when I went to that village, I told the man. The man said, Biomedical Engineering, what are you doing here? I said, even you are surprised. I said, I'm as shocked as you. The man said, so what do you want us to do? I said, sir, as you are shocked, I'm shocked. So let me go. I want to be a copper here, but I can't be teaching for 1 year. I'm not built for teaching. My vision is not for teaching because you can teach in different capacities. Do you understand what I'm saying? But there are places where they will throw you to. Well, anyhow, so at that point, I said, okay, what can I use my time to do as a person? And I studied biomedical engineering. So I was like, before I know my fate as an individual after NYSC, let me experiment. Then I went to Reddington Hospital. I entered there. Went to their HR. Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon, sir. My name is XYZ. I'm from Belgium University. I'm doing my NYSC. Help me. See, I know this and that. I have worked as an IT student in Federal Medical Center. I actually coordinated the dialysis section at the time, my 400 level and 300 level. So I had experience in that. So the man asked me questions on the department. I was like, I know everything about it, but if give me a chance, I will thrive. Do you understand? And I entered. So during my NYSC, I didn't just settle for where NYSC threw me to. No. Outside school is war because nobody will give you a chance unless you take it. So I went to Reddington and said, "Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma. I want to do XYZ." They interviewed me and said, "We are going to take you as a copper. But after NYSC, we will see how it's going to be." You understand what I'm saying? Then for a year, I gained knowledge and I gained clarity because when I was in Reddington, I was not like, okay, I don't want to be the person that will just be maintaining and fixing machine. I'm more than that. Do you understand? Like, in terms of vision, I'm not meant to be just, I'll wait for Imbo to do machine. It will come to Nigeria and I will screw and unscrew, plug and unplug. No. So I had the idea of wanting to be the one behind the creation, product development. So, and at the time, I was already learning 3D printing and manufacturing and modeling. Do you understand? So I just said, oh, after NYC, I don't want to work here again because it's not what I want to do. So if you don't actually, if I didn't take that step of pushing my limit and being uncomfortable, I would have known that, oh, I don't really like working as a clinical engineer. So like, I'll go straight to the career path that we can work in as a 3D product designer. So I'm talking too much. So first of all is product design. So how I'm going to say it is that product design, I'm going to tell you the field and the arsenal you need to thrive in this product design industry. So the first one is in product design, you need to be able to model. Do you understand? Product modeling, product development, and you have to understand design for manufacturing guidelines for multiple processes. So let's say you want to work up for injection molding. There are rules for modeling for that. For CNC machining, there are rules modeling for that. For 3D printing, there are rules modeling. So you have to learn the modeling with design for manufacturing principles. And second one is 3D animation for sales. It's very important because we spend months and years in developing a new product. But if you don't sell this product, the company goes to ruins. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the only way to sell this product is to actually do 3D animation because sometimes videography can't do some things that animation will do because of the intricacies, the inside of the product, the PCB boards, the everything, how everything works. So if you can also learn 3D animation, it's going to help you. It's a field that can also work in. Do you understand? And other one is 3D fashion garment design. It's a new field I am in right now, like just experimenting to just know how things are because there's a gap in the market that one, you have to always fly your international clients to the country or you go and meet them to make fit of outfits. Do you understand? But this way with 3D, you can actually just scan the person or snap the person, bring them in the 3D world, then fit the clothes in 3D, then simulate and actually sew to fit directly. So that way you can also do you can showcase the product in 3D before actually sewing, which reduces cost of material and labor. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can also work in 3D fashion design. And fourth one is AR and VR. It's very common. It's not a new field. 3D modeling in AR and VR experiences where you can use to sell products, interactive products, and you can also use it for learning and teaching. Imagine like as a biomedical engineering student now, you can also have like imagine you are learning your spinal cord arrangement, T1, T2, C1, all the vertebrae. You can't necessarily have all these things in your hand in class. But with 3D, you can actually be in that environment where you can see all these things visualized to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you can learn it. And last one, all the boys will like this one. Game design. You can learn game design with 3D. Yes, it's it's a full industry. Your COD is 3D. Your everything is 3D. Do you understand what I'm saying? 3D. But now you have to learn programming for that one. C++, because if you want to do games, you have to be able to use Unreal Engine, Unity, and C++, plus your Blender and Cinema 4D for all the modeling and simulation. So, how do you make sure you're sustainable with these things? Keep learning. It doesn't stop. Because now you can't say I chose one field and I want to. The future only rewards those that can use their skill set across multiple industries. So keep learning, keep advancing. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the second one is grow through collaboration. Like I've said, the only way up is through people. You can't do it alone. If you want to fly a helicopter, so somebody has to fly. Sorry, if you want to enter a helicopter, someone has to fly the helicopter. Someone has to be reading the map. Someone has to be. So you have to collaborate to grow. You understand what I'm saying? And own your value. That's the most. I think I will even stop there. Say, own your value, because the issue is that people outside are ready to take or pay the least for the highest value you can give. So if you don't understand how to drop your offer to people and say, this is what I can do, this is how I can do it, this is what you will gain, they will take you for granted. So you spent years of learning something. Don't downgrade. Don't say, I'm just a beginner. No. Please give me a chance. No. Even Reddington, I went to and said, please help me. They saw my credentials. Yes, you have to be humble because it's not always about how arrogant you are. It's about how willing you are ready to enter a system. So even if you are humble, you have to be ready, like by your criteria, by your qualifications. So self-learn, own your value, know your finances. No, it's not only about just making the money. You can make the money but spend anyhow because we are still very, very young. And if you make money early, you are bound to waste the money. Like it's popular opinion. Do you understand what I'm saying? So own your value and learn your finances. Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate the time. And I would like to know if you have any questions or anything at all to just talk to me about because everybody is one. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Please talk. So, do you have questions?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Coincidentally, we also have a design team.
Design team, okay?
Yes. So my first question is, how do you pitch your ideas as a, like if you are doing it as a freelancer? For example, you
Okay.
talked about from what you've said, you do both the card design and you animate how it works and everything. So how do you like pitch your idea? Let's say you design the device now, you animate how it works. How do you get your target audience? The second question is, how do you undo discouragement? Because I know there will have been times where probably you did a work and someone was like, this is rubbish. How did you push yourself back? And the third question is, for example, as students now, they're also like probably into this. How do you balance it with you? I know it's exhausting because this is a lot. For example, rendering, drawing the whole animations, the scales, everything. How do you balance up? And the last question, sorry, is that
Okay.
you talked about the pieces. How do you retain the textures of your designs from the card into the animation?
Okay. So that's 4 questions. So before I answer, is there any other new questions that want to come into this? So I can answer them at the same time. No new question. So that's enough actually. Thank you very much. So first question, you said, how do you pitch your ideas? So first of all, you have to create a problem for people that have a problem. So don't just pitch and talk to the air. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like Apple did, you start with the customer, not with the product. So actually know what problem you are solving, know who you are solving it for. So that way you don't have to speak too much grammar. If, for example, now you have broken leg. Sorry, you don't have broken leg, but imagine you have broken leg. And I said, I have a prosthetic device for you that can make you walk as efficient as possible. Will you tell me, how does it work? You say, let me try it out. But will I speak much to convince you to buy? Because it's something you need. So start with the problem we are solving it for. Then that way you can easily pitch your ideas without struggle. So meaning if you want to work for engineering firms, create your portfolio to solve their problem. So that way when they see you, they say, oh, this is our person. You know what I'm saying? And second, you said, how do you handle discouragement? Pick a problem worthwhile. So that way, when people tell you it's not worth it, you know it's worth it. So like that way, pick a problem worthwhile. Like pick a problem you are sure that is valuable. So if they say it's not worth it, you say you are not going to get audience. And you said one thing again, you said how do you balance schooling and your product design stuff, Abi? That question I can't really answer because I started 2 weeks from my convocation. You understand what I'm saying? But when I was in school, I used to sing. I was a good artist. So I'll tell you how I balanced my singing career at the time with my biomedical. But I still passed. It's not as if I still passed with flying colors. Do you understand what I'm saying? So how I balanced it was that school is school, talent is talent. You are here for a reason. So see your time as like a working hours. 9 to 5 is for school. Just what I'm saying. Then probably push to like 8 because of extra reading now. Then probably in the midnight, just wake up 2-3 hours daily on what you love doing is enough in school. Then that way, in 5 years, 3 hours daily in 5 years, when you leave school, you're a powerhouse. Like you might not be someone that you're looking for everywhere, but you are somewhere to like you're a work in progress. They'll pick you and say, I'll finish. Just what I'm saying. So that's one way to undo life, school, and your passion. And last one, you said, how do I maintain the textures of your file in CAD and rendering? So, do you texture in your CAD softwares, like in your SolidWorks? Mm-hmm. To Blender, okay?
Most of the formats don't allow you to take the same color, same texture. So how do you like? I see videos and I wonder how they do it.
So okay, so there are files, so there are file types. There are file types, but I'm not sure of textures, but I'm sure of the color and the material. So if you export as a 3MF file, do you understand? 3MF file, you can export the file the way it is in CAD into Blender, but it will only look like it. It will not give you the texture. So our advice is that if you are working with CAD, with SolidWorks, Fusion, and you want to texture your files, just take it onto Keyshot straight. To Keyshot, the rendering software that works well with 3D files in CAD, in SolidWorks and everything. So knobs and curves. See that Keyshot, there is a folder, a collection of materials, drag and drop. So what you do is that in your CAD softwares, you now assign which part would have the same material. So that way, if you drag and drop in Keyshot, it works straight. And in Blender, the reason why that one works in Blender is because Blender uses the BSDF, not the same file format as that in CAD. So you have to actually retexture. And I don't advise you exporting files in CAD to Blender if you want to still work on them in terms of the geometry and everything. Export to Keyshot instead, because that one accepts more of CAD files. But if you're working more with polygonal files, you can use Substance Painter, all those things. So just write those things down. You can use Keyshot, Blender, SolidWorks, but all those things work with one better. So if you're using CAD software like Fusion and SolidWorks, it's Keyshot you use. If you are working with, if you only want to render and you are done with everything, carry it to Blender and render. So that's just it. Yeah, that's the answer to everything that you asked for. So what any other question? Yeah, thank you very much. God bless everybody. I'm happy to be here. I really appreciate it.